I'm very honored to be one of the awardees of the Tang Prize in Sinology.
The 90-year-old professor Wang Gengwu speaks energetically. His thoughts are well organized. He served as president of the University of Hong Kong and was elected academician of Academia Sinica. He is now a university professor at the National University of Singapore. In the fields of Chinese history and Chinese overseas and Southeast Asia, he has achieved irreplaceable academic status.
I never set out to be a historian. I started being very fond of literature. I wanted to be a writer, but I think quite young I realized that I was not good enough to be a good writer. Then I looked for other things to study. Then I found that learning about the past helped me to understand the present. That's how I began.
Born in Surabaya, Indonesia, his parents are Chinese intellectuals who hold the motherland at heart. He grew up under the influence of Confucianism and also received a British education. He also studied for a year in Nanjing. Since childhood, he has resided in Malaysia, the UK, Australia, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Diverse cultural and life experiences formed his unique research perspective. Chinese history is traditionally studied by East Asian scholars from within China itself. Western scholars start from the perspective of the West. Wang Gengwu combines the Chinese tradition and perspectives from Southeast Asia to open up a different path. In the early period, he focused on trade in Southeast Asia and also investigated the power structure of northern China during the 5 dynasties. At that time, he noticed the huge gap between North and South and saw that history was seen mostly from a northerner's viewpoint.
A lot of information all came out of northern China. The original Confucian texts, all the famous writers and poets, and even the historians of like Sima Qian. That was the first time I began to at least question whether China was quite as simple as all that.
As a pioneer of Chinese overseas studies in Southeast Asia, he thinks that the overseas Chinese should not just be considered in the context of Chinese history. They should be understood based on the circumstances of the migrated locations and their complex and diverse identities. In 2000, when interviewed by reporters in Taiwan, Wang Gengwu talked about the major change that took place in the past century. The Chinese people's attitude shifted from longing to return home to being content with settling down in Southeast Asia.
愿意留下来的呢，大部分现在都已经是成为当地的国民。那么入了籍之后，那么表示他们效忠于新兴国家。那么在各方面呢，也要适应当地的这种情况。
He has never stopped writing since the 1950s. Many of his works have become classics that have inspired scholars across generations. For all these reasons, he was awarded the Tang Prize.